We're talking about AI and the future of work. This is not the first time we're talking about this topic. But, I think the big difference today is that the future is happening in front of us, right? The changes are happening today. So I think as we talk to this distinguished panel, I think we're going to focus in on where is technology really helping today and what is still needed, where humans are still needed, where people are still needed, and therefore what kind of skills do we need moving into the future. So this is the main thrust of the panel. We're going to start actually with Mohamad, who is here. Mohamad, you're joining us from commercial real estate. You're part of this major transformation that is going on in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, where you're building for 2030 Expo, you're building for the World Cup, and all sorts of other amazing transformations. Where are you using technology? Where do you still need people?
Yeah, thank you for the question, Asif. Thank you, everyone. Good afternoon. If we see real estate today and artificial intelligence, we know that 1 in 6 people on this planet use AI. And when it comes to the new generation, Gen Z, we have around 76% today of them are using AI. So today, when we look into the real estate, it's one industry where AI should be part of it. So, but you cannot fully depend on it. So you need to be AI fluent rather than AI dependent. And because at the end of the day, it's whenever anyone buys real estate, he needs his broker, he needs someone to talk to give him his opinion and to make the right decision, to help him make the right decision. So today, when we look for people who wants to work in this field, we look for people who are AI fluent, but not AI dependent. Second, we look for people who are ready to adapt fastly. And today in Saudi, for example, because the movement is happening so fast, it will not take years. So every strategic decision or action that you'll have to make should be from 1 month to 3 months. You'll be able to open a company and start generating business. Thank you.
Really good points there. Mary, I want to bring you into the discussion. You and I have some commonalities. We both work here in the UK hospitality industry. Hospitality, restaurant, hotels, one could argue the last human-centered and human-centric industry where we think we will always need people. What's your view on this? Where is technology helping? Where will you still need people and perhaps always need people?
Thanks, Asif, and good afternoon, everyone. It's great to be here, and thank you for having me. That's a really good question. I'm very much, and I'm going to use Kimberly from the previous panel, I'm going to use exactly what she used, which is person first. And so AI for me is an enabler for the team to simply do a better job. So in hospitality at the moment, making decisions in real time can be extremely difficult. It's a bit like spaghetti junction. There's lots of different systems. You could be looking at 5, 6, 10 systems at the one time to try and make decisions and make decisions quickly, knowing that there is a guest-focused issue on the table already, about to be on the table. It's around the corner. And so you don't get a second chance to make a first impression. When you arrive at a hotel, we've all done it. We don't have, I often say to the team, we are actors, but we don't get paid the millions, nor do we have a script, nor do we get a chance to take 2. But we should be actors because we're pretty good. So if there's anybody here who is thinking about it, off you go. But so AI is an absolute enabler for our teams to do their job better. AI is a real-time tool. And so when we think about real-time in hospitality, you have to think pre-stay, you have to think in-stay, and you have to think post-stay. When we travel, we all want to know a little bit about the location that we're staying in. We all want to know, and not just inside, but actually what's around us, where we can, have food and drink, all of those kind of things. During the stay, then, we still want to know how we get extra towels. Can I get a room on a higher floor? I've got a special occasion, or all of those really high touch points for guest experience. And post stay then, it's how did we do? And actually, more importantly, can we have you back? And to do all of those kind of things without AI, we put an awful lot of people and an awful lot of systems in place to try and make it work. And in reality, we do an okay job at it. We don't do a great job at it. But with the influence of AI and with the benefit of AI, we become much better at doing that for the vast majority of our guests, and not just the one or two that we really want to look after.
Thank you, Mary, for that. And Benjamin, I want to bring you into the discussion quickly because you're a specialist in neuropsychology. Clearly, you will have studied academically quite some time to get to the position you're in now. And I just read in the newspapers a couple of days ago that college students in the US are switching their majors, trying to find something that's AI-proof that they can study so that when they come out into the workforce, they have an opportunity. The key question that they're facing right now is what to study. Where do you stand on all of this automation, AI, and future of work?
So I think the field of psychology is not bulletproof, but it's one of the fields that's pretty safe because what I do is based on compassion, based on understanding human beings, and based on something called a therapeutic alliance, which is something that a generic AI, in my opinion, cannot replace. However, an AI, chatbots, etc., they can do something really good, which is psychoeducation, which is explaining what a depression is, explaining what anger is, explaining those kind of things. And I think this is really valuable for basic support, but at the other side, it cannot replace a psychologist. So therefore, I think my field is fairly safe, but obviously not bulletproofed.
Okay. And Simona, you're joining us from the legal profession. There are different stories I'm hearing about the legal profession. In some cases, we hear that there is technology developments happening there and they are using AI. But then part of me feels uncomfortable about this. Are we talking about AI judges, AI lawyers? Should we not have humans doing these things and making those decisions? Where do you stand on this?
Well, Asif, I don't know if you remember the talk we had recently when I told you, just imagine my regular day at work. 10 people come with the same problem, and they present it in 10 completely different ways. Ways that I wouldn't be able to think of in an entire lifetime. And in this ambiguity, how can we rely on AI? I think that the connection between the law professional, especially me, that I'm a notary, and the notaries in Romania are quite different from the notaries in the UK or in the US. We are much closer to the judges, let's say, because we have great responsibility in the decisions we're making and great authority as well. And for us, the human contact is very important. I don't think that for any legal profession, not for lawyers, not for judges, this should be replaced. Because Kimberly Lewis on the previous panel said something that stayed with me. Put the person first. It's very important to put the person first in legal professions, because AI right now cannot hold the human moment, the depth of a human moment. People come to us with real life issues. They come with matrimonial issues. They come with divorces, with tears in their eyes. And we have to hold space for them, read the room. Sometimes rooms like half of this room. And this, for us as professionals, demand years of experience. So I do not think that the AI can replace that. Of course, the AI developers can find ways to draft documents, to search the registries, and it removes all the friction. I mean, they leave us time for us to be better professionals, to document ourselves better, to become more creative, to welcome our customers in a better way. But the connection, the one-on-one connection, has to be done by the person, because in the end, of course, AI can draft documents, but it's the person behind them that will deliver the interpretation.
Really great point there, Simona. And I think this I think is the beginning of the advice we can start to give to people, which is that there are elements which require empathy. There are elements of different careers in different sectors and daily life that require human connection, human communication, critical thinking, problem-solving skills, and our human creativity. So we could argue that those are all of the things that we should double down on as humans today. But Igor, how do you feel about this? Am I missing something?
No, I think you're right. Thank you for the question. Hi, everybody. Looking at everything that was said today, there's two things that come up over and over again: authenticity and sincerity. It's about how to evolve, how to be more effective, more productive, but still stay human, not lose your human connection. You know, I work a lot with people, and people are really not versed in emotional regulation. They don't know how their body works. They don't know why they're angry. They don't know why they're sad, what to do with their sadness. A lot of people have not learned how to feel consciously, and how to communicate and describe what they're feeling. They react. And I think one of the big problems that can happen with AI is we as humans can be very reactive. So we give a prompt, we get a response, and then we act on it. It's like also when people ask us, do this task, you have this deadline, and you just gotta do it. And we react. If we get into the habit of reaction without having emotional regulation, connection with our body, we can lose our humanity more and more and more, and externalize our capacity to make authentic decisions from our heart, from our sincerity, to what is the best optimal thing. And I'll just give an example. I recently had an argument with somebody, and they said something which triggered me sincerely, really hard. And I felt the anger come up. And in that moment, I already knew what I was going to say, how I was going to throw something back at them. Here you go, you. But I put my hand on my heart, and I breathe. And I come in touch with my sincerity. And I understand, I'm sad that you said that. That hurt me. And I told them, that really hurt me that you said that. And they melted. And we got a real human emotional moment. And we connected. And I understood, if I didn't know how to do this, if I didn't do this, there would be a huge fight there. Which is preventable. We just got to get educated on how our bodies work and how to consciously work with our bodies.
Great advice. We've got a few minutes left. Yes, feel free. We've got a few minutes left, and I really want to get down to some practical learnings we can get from this. So I'm going to do a quick fire round, and I want you all just to give me a quick 2 or 3 second take. If you are one of these college students or university students today, you're trying to pick your major, I want you to give me your quick fire answer. What would you be studying right now? I'll give you a second to think about it, and I'll share what my view is on this. My sense is that all those things that I described earlier, critical thinking, creativity, problem solving, empathy, these are all innately human skills. We should double down on those. But I think that we should still explore the technology in order that we can be stronger. So I always advocate for people to try AI, all the tools that are out there. That's the best way to learn and prepare. We can talk about it, but you've got to start using those tools, all of the different types of tools, and that's the fastest way to learn how you can leverage this technology and improve your skills in the future. But over to the panel. Who wants to go first? I'm going to choose somebody. Okay, Simona, let's go. What would you study now if you were about to graduate in this era?
I think the most important aspect we need to remember is that education is changing. So we cannot rely on information, just information anymore, because we've already lost the battle. So AI can deliver that in seconds. So we have to focus on what makes us truly human, on creativity, on connecting with each other, social events like this, metacognition, like thinking, observing our own thoughts and developing. And of course, something that I call practical philosophy, not just philosophy. We don't want to become philosophers, simple philosophers. We want to be able to use AI and all these modern tools that we can put in a box in a way that is practical for us. So we should be creative, become creative with the help of technology.
Okay, so double down on the creative stuff. Igor, let's go.
Really fast, you take time and space for yourself to be with yourself, to really be with yourself, go into sincerity, feel what do you really want to do, what do you really want to do, not think about your mom, dad, or whoever, what do you really want to do, and then use AI to give you a map or an overview of how to maximize your potential.
Okay.
But still take authentic steps because it's your path.
Yeah, so pick your passion and then use AI to get you there faster. Got it. Mohamad?
Yeah, I think that maybe because if COVID taught us one thing is that we cannot live alone, and we as people need to be around other people. So it's definitely something that is related to maybe psychology, something that's related to how we help understand each other. And science, data, it's all there. It's biology, everything is engineering, everything can be done. But one thing that we cannot stay away from is human interaction. This is the most important thing.
So let's double down on those interpersonal skills, right? And make sure people can, because especially young people today, they're growing up in the messaging era. They're more comfortable messaging than they are necessarily always interacting face to face. They need to relearn or learn those skills for the first time in a different context. So this is an important point. Benjamin.
That would be actually my answer. It's not a subject, but learn human connection, learn the complexity of human connections. And that would be the one thing that I would, as somebody who studied abroad, as somebody who studied in multiple contexts, that's the one skill I would say to everybody, learn that.
Sounds like we've got to get some new subjects at these universities then, yeah? Mary?
I am a trustee of a children's charity in London, and I thought that I was going to join the board and show them exactly how they should operate, because I was going to bring my business acumen to them. Boy, was I wrong. They taught me a lot, a huge amount. So you can imagine these are children from 0 to 5. We're never going to replace family values with AI. We're always going to have the sympathy and empathy characteristics, respect, affection, love, honesty, integrity, compassion. AI doesn't change that. But what AI does is help us to create better decisions in better time, and that human interaction piece, that's never going to go away. That's why we're here. That's the human touch, the human feel. That's the most important. We use AI and how we use AI to better the human interaction. And particularly for the 0 to 5s and the 5 to 10-year-olds, let them start not working with AI, learning AI, understanding Copilot, understanding the broad stream AI tools from 5, 6, 7, or 8. Don't replace them.
Amazing. Thank you so much. Well, we're coming to the end of our time now. I think we've discussed AI and the future of work, but I think what I'm realizing is the future is now. So we really should get started trying these tools and keep trying and testing till we find our way through. Thank you to the lovely panel here, and thank you to all of you.